Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you guys for joining me into this quick little video. My name is Wilky, and first of all, the game you're seeing is called Wizard of Legend. This is just a roguelite game I'm currently bashing my time away with, because I'm not grinding in BDO. Dauntless is under maintenance, I cannot really play that. And yeah, there aren't really that many other games I'm currently playing, not that I have the time to dive into multiple other games. I still want to give the Dark Souls Remastered a go. However, there seems to be, well, not really such an outlash, but kinda, well, mixed, I guess, results or reviews rather, because a lot of people claim it's not something they had to charge for. This is pretty much the general notion of the community, that there was no reason to charge people for essentially a patched up version that DS Fix already brought to us. But yeah, I mean, that's just really about it. I will actually try it at some point. So there's that. The main point I'm going to be trying to make in this video, or what I'm going to be talking about, is the Online Fiasco, the launch, or not so good launch, or whatever you want to call it. If you haven't been living on a rock, and you probably haven't, because usually people who watch my videos are people that played C9 or majority of other MMOs out there. So I pretty much believe you probably followed or heard at least of Bless at some point. Now, first of all, I have to say that I'm not really a huge fan of Bless. I took a look at it in the past, and I didn't think it was a bad game. I just knew this is not really something that sparks my interest. So I never really got into it that much, and I was like, well, you know, if it comes to EU, I might give it a go. And so it did come to EU, but it had a buy-to-play mod. Now, usually that turns me off. Not that I don't like buy-to-play, because generally I think buy-to-play is better than free-to-play at this day and age, if done right, obviously. There's always a very delicate process involved in that. I mean, look at BDU. It basically is buy-to-play, but also has pay-to-win elements in it, cash. It's just, you know, the boundaries are very obfuscated at this point. You cannot really make a clear judgment whether or not this is buy-to-play, because even at this point, buy-to-play means it has a cash up. Plenty free-to-play games have a completely optional cash up, just with customizable shit. Other games do have, like, quality of life or actually pay-to-win items. So that's not really the point, though. So I never really paid too much attention to Bless. But just with the recent, I guess, launch, or I don't even know what they did, to be honest. Because it just baffles me of why or how something like that can go through quality assurance, or who thought it's a good idea to basically completely screw over everyone that basically followed Bless or like had interest in the game. Like, for those of you who did not really knew what was going on, basically they released a very half-assed version of the game with a lot of content missing, which I'm not sure if it shouldn't be in the game or they just withheld it to give the future launchers a go or something. I really do not understand what the thought process behind that was, or who thought it's a good idea to do that, on top of milking players for founder packs or basically access to the game, which personally I don't think the prices I don't think the prices were that unreasonable. I mean, prices are always gonna be a sore spot for some people. Some people don't have that much money, they want to play games for free, I understand that. Then they just go out and cry about cash up. But usually those are the people that do not understand that running a game also costs money, and that these companies don't just do it for fun. They actually, you know, want to make a living off it as well. There's just normal people like you and me there that do work. They obviously need to feed themselves and potentially their family as well. So it's not really like cash up is just inherently bad. But just to name probably the biggest thing that irked me, like I just laughed my ass off when I heard that, is that essentially they allowed you to teleport to dungeons for cash currency. Like, what the actual fuck? I mean, I played games in the past where teleport scrolls or some form of quality of life teleport was behind paywalls or at least somewhat annoying to get. But that's just one of the few things that I read. As I said, I personally didn't play it because I just couldn't give two flying cents when I heard what just went down. And it just didn't end there. As I said, they withheld a lot of content. They basically didn't really give people to do anything with the game. So they just released a half-assed version of the game, but still charged the full price. And the end of that all was pretty much that, and that's what surprised me the most. Not that Bless just was a huge shit show, but that Valve actually took action and allowed people to refund their game, or rather their founder packs or whatever, beyond the 2-hour limitation of Valve. Like, for those of you who are not familiar, Valve introduced a refunding feature. I do not remember exactly when that happened, but generally, if you want to try out a game, you can buy it, and if you play less than 2 hours, or like if your Steam time clock, whatever, has less than 2 hours on it, you can request a refund. And as far as that goes, I did it twice, and it worked without any major issues. Like, I didn't really have any trouble. Took a bit of time and went through. But generally, it works fine. A lot of people thought, like, well, it's bad because you can play a game for 2 hours, and if you're good, you can, like, play half the game. I mean, you have to think about it from the consumer side. I think it's a good step that Valve allowed people to do, because sometimes you want to try out a game because it looks good, or because you think, oh, well, it actually looks like something I might play, and then you buy it, and either it just turns out to be completely different, developers might, you know, just hoax you, the trailers showed shit that wasn't actually in the game. The prime example for that is Planet Centauri. The trailer looked amazing. I was like, I love Terraria a lot, and generally any of these types of games, but Planet Centauri was just so much potential, just completely wasted. And I had, like, for these occasions, I think the refund is exactly very valuable. Or, for example, let's just imagine you buy a game you like, but you're unsure if your PC can actually handle it or how it will handle it, because, you know, recommended specs are just always, well, you can never really tell whether or not this is actually going to be good or not. So, you know, it's just always a gamble. And with the refund function, what you can basically do is buy a game, download it, have it around on your PC and play around for like half an hour, and see, like, if you get good FPS, if you get stable FPS, yada yada yada, you know the game's running well, or at least running. And if the game's not running, you basically know, well, the game's not running, sorry, but I cannot really play it on my PC, so there's no point for me to have it. Which, as I said, I think the refund option for that is very, very good. But a lot of people think it's being abused, and then again, everything will be abused by, well, scummy people at some point. That's just the flow of time. So yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. Anyway, back to the Bless, I guess, drama fiasco, before I rumble on too long about this. Basically, as I said, Bless just completely went down the drain, like massively down the drain, and personally, I do not comprehend why they did that, what the actual goal was, why they did not just release the game in a good state. Because, as I said, they had a following. They didn't just have 100 people waiting to play the game. There were a few thousand, maybe even 10,000 people actually being interested in the game. So, it makes no sense to me to just take a massive shit in their faces and just completely cheat them. And as I said, Valve basically allowed you to refund past the 2-hour mark, and plenty people did refund, which is probably, I think it's very good that they did, because it sends a message that, first of all, people are looking for, holy shit, people are looking for a new MMO, or generally anything they want to spend their time with, but at the same time, they are not taking any shit for granted. Like, if the game's shit, they're gonna be very obvious or very open about that, which is, I think, very good. So that's just really my take on that. But generally, as I said, I'm very happy that they did refund and they did cause this probably financial trouble for the developers and publishers. So we might not see shit like that in the future, which personally I would recommend. Last but not least, what I wanna, I guess, is do something like a summary or a giveaway from this. First of all, as I said, the MMO genre isn't dead. There are plenty of people that are interested in the game, or any MMO in general. We still have World of Warcraft, we have Final Fantasy, and at least according to the Steam charts, BDO is similar up to Elder Scrolls Online. Obviously, Steam charts in regards of BDO do not reflect the whole player base, because plenty of people, like, I assume like 80% maybe of the player base plays the game from the vanilla client and not the Steam version. So anyway, I'd rank BDO within the top 5 MMOs at this point, despite BDO's issues and stuff like that. Generally, the takeaway is, though, don't you guys get cheated. I think founder packs are a great idea, and usually a great system to get people who are actually interested in playing the game, supporting the game, to donate, and, you know, get a little bit of a bonus, maybe get some exclusives, and things like that. But at the same time, as I said, do not let this shit happen again, or rather, do not let publishers and developers get away unscathed with behavior like that. Because if you allow companies to basically take your money and do whatever the fuck they want and get away with it, they will just repeat doing it. They were like, well, it worked once, we made money, and people were still following us and throwing money down their throats. Why not do it again, right? And I think this sends a very clear message, hopefully at least, to the remaining publishers, developers of MMO games, or MMORPGs in general, that there are people out there that want to play a very decent, a very healthy MMORPG at this point, be it action, instance-based, open world. It doesn't really matter at this point, really. There aren't very many options as far as MMORPGs goes these days. That's just a fact. There aren't that many games to play. And naturally, you could argue, well, you don't need that many because it's a time-consuming genre. That's true, but if you don't even have one single MMO you like to play, then that's kinda eh. I don't know. I just really, I'm very surprised that Bless basically went suicidal. Like, this is, I don't see the game recovering from that. Not only did the game relaunch multiple times, it got revamped multiple times, I do not see how they would recover from that drama after essentially driving away probably 80%, 90% of their player base. It's just beyond me. Anyways, though, as I said, my takeaway is MMORPGs are not dead, and I think developers and publishers might become more aware of that now, after seeing how many people actually wanted to play Blast and wanted it to succeed. But at the same time, like, don't allow companies to do shit like that. They need to learn, they need to understand that the community as a whole does not want to be cheated. They do not want to be taken as like little kids, just take my money and like do whatever they want. It's just, it's very important that this message gets sent out there, and that future publishers and developers understand that we are hungry for a new or proper MMORPG. I mean, Lost Ark might just fill the need for a lot of people, but it's isometric, so it's obviously going to turn off a lot of people directly before they even try the game, but you know, all these things like that. Anyways, yeah, as I said, this is pretty much about all. I'm still playing BDO at this point on my ninja, he's level 60. I'm playing Dauntless here and there. And as I said, meantime, I'm also playing some offline games. In this case, Wizard of Legend. If you want to see anything else, anything more specific details about anything else, just feel free to hit me up. And if not, I'll catch you guys in the next video, which I don't even know what it's gonna be. I might do a bunch of more Dauntless videos. I'm not bored of Dauntless yet. I don't see myself sticking around for too long. I suspect I'll probably just clear all the behemoths once or twice and farm a little bit of gear once I reach the highest tier of behemoths. And after that, I'll probably just leave it there. Like, this was my first Monster Hunter type-ish game, so I didn't really have any expectations. So far, I'm actually enjoying it, and we'll see where the future drags me. Anyways, this is all. This is Wilky signing out, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next time.